don't disagree. An Allie comes calls you a hoe, and none of them yell at me. Not a single one.
Yeah, no.
Well, Allie's allowed to call you a hoe, but I'm fucking not.
Yeah, when you do it, it's transphobic.
Are you fucking yours?
I am a cisphobe. I admit that. I'm a trans supremacist all the way. No way. Adam Conover isn't actually watching me right now. There's absolutely no fucking way. I'm calling complete BS on that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way, Adam Conover. I'm gonna go and look right now. Oh my fucking god, are you serious? What? Adam Conover is in chat right now. Holy shit. Hi. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a little starstruck. You'd be about my third hero I've ever met. What the fuck is going on? I guess they added you from where I was just watching you on Joe Rogan. Welcome. Hi, I'm Izzy Bear 713. I'm a Twitch streamer. I've just learned tonight that you are too, and I got super excited about that. Huge fan, first and foremost. Huge fan of the show. You're amazing. I love the way that you post sources. I'm very demanding of sources when I have these debates and conversations with people. And honestly, a lot of the stuff you have done has influenced my own rhetoric and my own way of studying and citing sources. And you're an amazing fucking person. So, like, clap. I'm absolutely floored that you're in my chat right now. I can't even believe that it's true. Holy shit. Oh, man. Oh. Woo. But yeah, hi. So I'm a trans streamer here on Twitch. I'm on the board of the largest trans-led nonprofit in the United States. I'm on the board of another major nonprofit that focuses on LGBTQ issues, and I'm a constant debater and educator here. I'm certified to instruct PhD holders in my state for things that are needed for trans care. And people said you were looking for like people to talk to about that, so I would love to help out in any way that I could if you need it. Not even just myself. I would really happily and proudly bring up like the leadership that funded the trans-led nonprofit that I'm in, give you our actual certificates and sources and things like that. It's a connection I would love to make if you're actually going to do an episode at some point, and I would love it to at all be involved. You're amazing. Please keep doing everything that you do. I'm floored right now. I'm absolutely floored that Adam Conover is in my chat. How does this keep? I'm broed out friends with Hassan Piker. Bo of the Fifth Column is now going to stream on Twitch because I brought him on my stream and then on Hassan's. I was on the H Bomber guy stream for trans rights. Like, how do I keep meeting amazing people who are 1,000 times larger than I'll ever be? It's fucking holy shit. I'm floored right now. I'm absolutely floored. I don't even know what I was streaming before Adam came in now. Oh. Guys, Adam Conover follows me on Twitch now. Adam Conover follows me on Twitch now. Can I proper type? Adam, honestly, yeah, if you would like to come in, I would totally have like an on-stream convo with you if you would like to. You definitely have a standing invite. I love talking with other like intelligent people or leftist and progressive people, not just Tabor snapping, dropping that gift sub. Fucking Tabor Pepper of the New York Giants just gifted Adam Conover a sub to my channel. What is my fucking life right now? An NFL fucking pro just gifted a sub to a TV celebrity host in my fucking Twitch channel. I'm gonna have a breakdown live on stream. Holy shit. What is my actual life? Oh my god. Yeah, Adam, my friend who just gifted you, that's Tabor Pepper, the long snapper for the New York Giants. He is also a Twitch streamer and a fellow progressive that loves looking for networking and collaboration. If you're ever looking for collab work on Twitch, I could hook you up with Raj Patel, Hassan Piker, Trainwrecks, Destiny. I know all these people, and if you're looking to network and like get more active in the Twitch community, I would happily help at like zero cost, zero necessity, zero shout out. You have no obligation. I like helping, supporting, and promoting voices that I agree with. So if you ever do want that, I sent you the friend request on Twitch so that you could DM me. So if you're ever interested, let me know. I'll happily help as much as I can. I'm still just blown away that this is even fucking happening. I'm fucking nobody, guys. How the fuck did you get Adam Conover in my fucking chat tonight? What is going on? But yeah, yeah, that's a little bit of a breakdown on me. Someone tweeted at you very kindly. Yeah, that would definitely be my viewers. They do that a lot. They are a wild, entertaining bunch. That's how we got Bo of the Fifth Column on here. I'm going to have a conversation with Hawes Shawnee, an award-winning woman of color actress. Chance at Sir Darius Blaine in the future, because one of my regulars knows him personally, and he's showed possible interest, but has to worry about scheduling. So I might have an award-winning, like, major fucking celebrity come on and talk about being a person of color in the industry. Like, literally, Manny and Wolf Rider. You guys are fucking champs. Jesus. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe you. I can't believe you. I cannot believe you. Update title, one of my mods. I'm too, like, giddy and shaky right now. Update it to chat with Adam Conover. or title Adam ruins Izzy. I feel like that should be baity enough that people would get the gist of it, right? We're gonna call this segment Adam Ruins Transphobia. That's where I'm at.
Hello?
Holy crap, hello?
Hey, oh, is this working?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. It's, crap.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I have a problem where I can hear you through the Twitch stream, but then I'm hearing myself back, but for some reason I can't hear you through the Discord call.
Okay, so while you can hear me through the Twitch stream,
figure out why that is.
Underneath the little pictures of our display pictures, click the gear that says user settings, go to voice and video, check your output device. If it's on default, try switching it to your specific speaker or headset.
Beautiful.
That usually helps.
Let's see. Say something.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can. And you can hear me, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, now you could mute the Twitch stream so you're not getting the echo.
Wonderful. And now I'm still seeing you in a small way. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could turn on video, but I just got back from a run, and I think I look like crap. I could, though. I could, but, either, whatever you like.
I don't think chat would mind, but that's entirely up to you. If you don't feel like going on video, I'm not going to make you. I'm pretty sure we can all tell from your voice you're exactly who you say you are.
Let's see here. What can I do here? Yeah, that's fine. I'll go with it. I clicked the video button.
All right, let me try and adjust here a little bit so that I can pull you up. Bang. I don't have the best setup for this because I don't have dual monitors, but
that's fine.
I will make it.
Oh, there I am. I'm on the stream. Hi there,
ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and NB pals. Adam fucking Conover from Adam Ruins Everything.
Hello. How's it going? Happy to be on the thing on the Twitch. Oh yeah, there. I see how you did it. That's a good use of windowage there.
Yep, that's how I handle it when I have like a single monitor. But I have a second monitor on its way. It's been sent to me by a viewer. Actually, I didn't even have to pay for one.
Look. I gotta say, like you said, I stream on Twitch, and I was streaming Sekiro yesterday. I'll be streaming it some more tonight. And PC. Man, you can do so many different things with them, but man, everything is so hard to do. Like, I can't just managing sound is so much that I'm surprised this is working at all. Thank you for giving me the tip on how to fix it. Anyway, so yeah, somebody tweeted at me. I could look up who it was. Somebody tweeted at me and said that you were discussing the chat I did on Rogan, and thought might like to, I should drop by. And so I thought, yeah, I popped in and saw my own face, and I'm curious what you were saying about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so first off, totally standing your statements on it. I despise Joe Rogan, and a lot of other leftists or left-leaning people disagree with me on that, and they're like, oh, he's not really that bad. He's not really that bad. I disagree. I believe he believes whatever's pitched to him, and usually has a more right-leaning or conservative overall base, but tries to play that center of the field talking point.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree in terms of his. I mean, I don't know him that well, but in terms of his political leanings. There's a lot of there's a lot of folks who say, well, I'm a liberal, and they're sort of talking about a couple specific issues that we normally associate with liberalism, but then there's a certain, strain of social conservatism that tends to get sectioned off from that. And I think that's where he seems to live. That's where a lot of comedians live, frankly. Like, there's a lot of, there's this myth that, like, there's no such thing as conservative comedy, and that's just not true.
Yeah, absolutely false.
Yeah, it's very false. But yeah, I mean, I it's interesting. I had questions about going on because, he had like Alex Jones on 2 weeks prior, but at the same time, I don't believe that I believe there are platforms that are big enough that you're better off engaging with them rather than ignoring them. And
agreed.
At the same time, it was my regret in that conversation, and I said it in the conversation, was that I didn't know that topic was going to come up. I had an inkling. Well, this is something that he cares about, and maybe we talk about it. But I wasn't like prepared for it to become a back and forth in that way, and so I regret that I wasn't better able to represent the scientific and medical consensus, and among other things, right? And was only able to sort of speak to it in a more general way. But it is what it is.
As a cishet ally who admits that they don't know the most of it, I would love to say up front, you did way better than most people that would even refuse to come to bat, much less come to bat way worse prepared. So, like, at its core level, you did amazing for the position you were in, by the way.
I appreciate that, and I'll be honest, that makes me feel better. Well, no, because look, I'm new to these topics, right? Everything's moving so quickly, right? When I talk about this with folks, I think the first friend I had, first person in my social circle who I knew who transitioned was I think 5 years ago, which is an eye blink, right?
Right.
And so it's, I've learned so much in the past couple of years, and it's one of those areas where I'm very aware of how little I know. Yeah, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to deal with a Joe Rogan fanboy probably at least once or twice a week, running a debate channel on Twitch. Like, I get a bunch of people who come in from the center or from right-leaning, or even all the way to like the alt-right far fascism side that come in and want to debate all the time. I definitely agree that when people have large enough platforms, it is important for leftist voices or more progressive voices, or definitely my largest preference on this, people who actually look at facts and study and want to understand everything instead of just talking about how they feel. Like, being able to back what you say with cited sources and with like actual empirical data really fucking matters.
Right.
And I feel like most people, especially like in this instance, most people go on Joe Rogan, don't do that. So seeing your face there was like this huge welcome thing. I was super excited when I got that link today and I was reviewing it.
I really appreciate that. The interesting thing for me about it was that debate is not my thing, right? Debate. So you're a debate channel. That's all you do?
Not all I do, but it's become like a massive part of it. Yeah. I actually started as only video gaming content because I'm a huge diehard gamer, but people learned that I'm very articulate at these conversations. I'm very good at debating a point and at arguing. So people wanted me to do more just chatting. And now I've like seen this massive boom from it. And I want to get my check mark before I try and like do a mixture of debate and gaming. I would like to become a variety channel in the future.
Well, what I do is debate is great. It's a great thing, but it's a specialized skill. And, what I do is sort of argumentative essays, right? That's a mighty cloud. Wow, cool. Whoa, those are good.
I can throw them right at the camera and stuff. Yeah, it's just...
That's great. I learned to do that in college when I was smoking cloves in my dorm room. So yeah, what I do is sort of, argumentative essays in sort of a Socratic dialogue format. And I love to have a conversation, and I love to have a, discussion of ideas, right? To the degree to which that conversation became a capital D debate, or the way it's being framed by people who are chopping it up on YouTube, you know what I mean?
Right.
had I gone in loaded for bear, then I would have, for instance, I figured we'd probably talk about the alpha male thing because I usually get asked at the beginning of that interview, what topics are the most divisive? What do you get the most pushback on? That's the answer, right? And I was like, maybe Joe might have an opinion about that, right? But, most podcasts you go on as a comic that you sort of have a funny comedy discussion of something. Oh, you disagree? Oh, come on. What do you think? All right, well, let's move on. You know what I mean? That became very like, what's your evidence for this? Well, I didn't come prepared with that because I wasn't, this was not a debate in my mind. And so it was an interesting, like, way those things get divided between discussion and debate, right?
Right.
So anyway, I appreciate you saying so very much.
I appreciate your style and like that you can even name it yourself, the Socratic method. I actually compare a lot of what you do to a lot of what the person you shouted out on Joe Rogan's platform, which kudos, by the way, ContraPoints and her Socratic method video essays are just fucking phenomenal.
ContraPoints is incredible, yeah.
And like I said, like I love the way that you source all of your stuff inside it. We literally have tried to mimic that here in the Twitch chat, so people can start hitting commands in my chat right now. I don't even have to do it. They'll probably do it just because I'm saying this. And like links to the World Health Organization papers on gender will come up. Links to the Trans Health Survey will come up. Links to this, that, and the other. All the common things that we have to use on a daily basis, we just have set as hot commands to prove it out and make people go and look what the American Psychiatric Organization says on transgender treatment. Yeah, like all of that's listed there. And I took that from like your show where you really pointed out what your show does, and you were like pointing at all the sources, and I was like, I like that style, and I want to use that style because for me, it's a lot of what goes in the Socratic method as well, in my opinion. For me, critical thought is the really important part of what I try to portray when I'm doing debate, and proving how to find like a good source and a bad source, and how to actually like understand a fact compared to just taking what you're told at face value.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing that source thing on my show on when we did the web series for College Humor, and we'd only done a couple of them. We had done like by the third video, I was like, oh, okay, people are taking these seriously, and I'm just a comedian, and I'm literally doing my own research at that point, right? I didn't have a research staff; it was just me. And I just want to prove, hey, I did look into this, like I did read some shit, and so I just started putting that in the corner. And when we did it on TV, we started doing it on TV. I was kind of like, why doesn't every show do this? It seems pretty straightforward. And so I'm very happy to see other people pick it up. Right.
That was definitely specifically your influence, because I've talked about it, because one of the people tried to bring up like things of the past and this appeal to history, and it took me onto the John Kellogg conversation, and I literally used some of your points and sources when presenting that, and the guy was completely blindsided. He had no idea where all of that came from, and like the conversations of circumcision, and like it was a very interesting night, and I was like, I think I'm gonna take more from Adam on this one, and I want to actually start showing my sources more. So now when we talk, either I'm posting my sources in chat, or my chatters are pulling up studies to back up or denounce what I say. My chat will even turn on me if I'm in the wrong. It's only happened once where I misspoke, but they were on it in an instant to call me out. Like, I'm trying to really produce like honest critical thought, and I think that's highly necessary in our current atmosphere.
Well, now, let me ask you a question, because do you think that is at odds at all with the format of debate, right? Because debate is very much, I mean, look, why do Joe's fans, think that he destroyed me, right, in that conversation? Again, a conversation that I didn't go into thinking was a debate, right? I was just being invited onto a podcast. I saw him at a comedy club. He booked me on the show. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, like any comedy podcast I've ever gone on, right? But we went into that format, right? So his fans are all up in my mentions saying, "Oh, Joe destroyed you in a debate," right? Now, neither of us had studies to cite, right? Joe, the best he had was, hey, I've spoken to someone who told me that it's science, right? Right. And that was the best I had as well. We're both comedians, So why did his fans think he won? Well, it's a format that's, first of all, it's his forum, and so it's full of people who are looking for him to destroy people, because that's why they like watching his videos, right? As I assume your fans do as well. Your fans you're the home team, right?
I'm the alpha trans because we like to joke about the alpha beta male insults. Yeah.
You're the Yankees and you're playing at Yankee Stadium, and these are Yankees fans in the crowd, right? And so they want to see you. They want to see you win. But also, debate is like fundamentally an emotional format, right? So the other reason is that Joe, I think, came at it with a lot of passion, a lot of emotion behind what he was saying, and I didn't, because I wasn't in the mood for I wasn't there for a debate, right? I was just like, well, here's what I've heard, man. Here's what I'd say in response to that. That's about it, right? So for those reasons, it sometimes seems to me as though debate as a format is a little bit at odds with critical thought and finding out the truth, right? Because it's specifically competitive rather than exploratory. Does that make sense?
So that's where I think there's like this newer style emerging, especially here on Twitch. I think Destiny does similar things, though not as often as I do, relying heavily on like sourcing things or asking someone else for a source. He does occasionally, and he's pretty good at throwing his out and making sure that he's heavily studied what he's going to talk about and that he knows where he's getting his sources from. But it's something that I feel is almost necessary in the world that I do, because this ties in really heavy with my my advocacy work. I work with multiple nonprofits. I'm on the board of the largest trans-led nonprofit in the U.S. I'm on the board of another nonprofit focused in LGBTQ and addicts and recovery needs. So for me, there's a lot more at stake than just my ego. Like, I'm not debating to feel good or feel superior or higher than. I'm debating to actually educate. So when I'm talking to someone, like in a debate style, when I'm actually going at it with someone, I don't expect to ever change their mind. I don't expect to win or lose. What I want to do is provide this in an almost inarguable way, back someone into a corner, make them have to admit certain parts of transitioning or whatever I'm arguing, so that the viewers, because like to me it's the viewers in the audience that are on the fence or have never heard my topics or have never heard the science behind transitioning and whatnot, have a chance to actually hear the actual fact side of it. And it's been very successful for me, as my numbers probably look like garbage compared to you, but a year ago I was at like 5 average viewers. Within like 6 months I was at 20. It's when I really got into this that I've ever come close to topping 100, and now I do occasionally top 100 every week. It's weird. And that's been because of this new style that I've done. And in this time, I've seen a lot of people come to me and say, well, like, I came here to flame you, I came here to troll you, I came here with really transphobic intent, but then like I came in this debate and I heard it and I had to listen, and I'm rethinking everything. And then they'll hop in, much like you and I are, and we'll have a conversation, not a debate, and we'll talk about like why they believed the things they did, what they did believe, and what the actual facts are. So I'm kind of like co-opting the term debate and putting this newer twist on it that I think is very important and very relevant.
That's cool. I however, did hear you say, right when I logged in, you were like saying, watch out, dude, you're going to get crushed, like right before you took your break. That was the first thing I heard you say. Yeah. So you do try to win a little bit.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct that like you have to put on the pizzazz, you have to put on the show, it has to be entertaining. And I definitely do like subscribe to that when I'm dragging a specific like transphobe or uneducated person, or when I'm really going in on it, I have to hype it up. There has to be an entertainment value. At the end of the day, we are content creators, we are entertainers. But I still like to mix in the actual education and my overall goal with it. And my core community, the people who don't come here just for the blood sports, are unbelievably supportive. I'll set goals for like charity events and charity streams, or I'll find a trans youth that has been in a homeless shelter for the last 6 years. This literally happened this last December. That's why I'm using such a detailed, but has been in a homeless shelter alone for the last 6 years. And then they just got to 18. They just now have their own place. And I will raise like $1,200 to $1,400 from 30-40 people, and we will give that kid the first Christmas they've had in fucking years. So at the core of it, I'm still reaching out to people who want and or need this kind of information, right? And that then want to support the actual causes that come from that.
So, look, I have to run in a little bit because I told my girlfriend I would cook dinner, and then I got this tweet, and now I'm here. But I really do want to know, because on the conversation with Joe, he brought up trans athletes, right?
Yep.
And my position on that, you heard me talk to him. I don't have that strong of a position on it. I just think, hey, look, I mean, trans people should be included in all parts of society, sports included. There's no fair, there's no level playing field whatsoever, right? everyone has advantages and disadvantages. I don't see why we should classify this this potential advantage or disadvantage, right, as exclusionary.
Right.
But that's off the top of my head. I don't have a stronger opinion than that. I don't know who Fallon Fox is. I know the Chris Mosier, is that the athlete's name? Who's am I correct?
I'm not sure. I want to say that's the trans college basketball. Trans.
No, I think Chris. I'm gonna look it up. I believe. Oh yeah, Chris Mosier is a triathlete, trans man. And okay. So that's like a cool. That's someone who I'm aware of. Who's like I'm aware of one or two like stories, right? But in general, I don't have that big of an opinion about the issue. And I saw you were about to get into it. So, what would you have said to Rogan, or just educate me on the issue? I would like to know, please.
I can shoot out a quick crash course on this that will give you things to go and look at and learn from. So, first off,
please,
if you're going to have conversations about this, you're going to have to study Fallon Fox. That's everybody's ace in the hole card, right? Which is just absolutely preposterous in my opinion, but we'll get into why. So, first off, instead of like just my thoughts, studies, or opinions on it, there is an actual biopic film about Fallon Fox and a college level basketball player who is a trans male. I can't remember his name, but there's a documentary biopic about the both of them that goes into the explanations and the struggles that they faced. And you learn how much medical testing Fallon Fox had to go through to even get approved, because she was very open about the fact that she was trans from the beginning. So what happens is, after you've been on estrogen for so long, those advantages go away pretty quick if your body's not producing standard levels of testosterone. So like someone like her who is on spironolactone that is blocking that testosterone, or has had, I believe, like her, the full sexual reassignment surgery, you're not getting anywhere near that level of testosterone, and you're replacing it with estrogen. That, as someone on estrogen, allow me to tell you, the facts about it giving you muscle atrophy are very true. I found myself very weakened, and as a disabled veteran that walks with a cane, that has led to points where I have to stop my hormone treatment long enough to get a little bit more muscle mass and be able to walk a little bit better, and then slap the patch back on, and I have to keep regulating my body like that until I get to a perfect point. Bone density falls, etc., etc. But the most important part on this is those athletes have to go under a very heavy scrutiny of medical testing from medical experts in the field of the sport that they compete in. So a whole panel of doctors ran a massive varying panel of tests on Fallon Fox over and over, testing every little aspect of it, and then cleared her for competition in the female MMA. So my main question, when I really want to back someone into a corner on this debate, is what certifications do you have and what testing have you done that would disqualify those experts in this field that made that statement? Because I don't believe you're anywhere near as qualified as them. And that's exactly what I'd say to Joe Rogan.
Right.
And like, all of the science shows that these people are wrong and speaking completely inaccurately. The main thing that they focus on is that Fallon Fox got into a fight where she fractured the skull of another female MMA fighter. The part that they never focus on is how often fractures, breaks, and even skull fractures happen in MMA for either gender. It's a blood sport. It's literally physical violence for pay, and that's part of the risk.
Right.
Fallon Fox does not have a perfect record, though she is doing much better now than she used to. That's because a lot of training, a lot of experience, and technique. The idea that 30-year-old males are transitioning to go and perform the next day is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know any doctoral team that has ever approved anyone that hasn't had more than a year of HRT treatment, so that they suffer the long-term effects and that they lose the advantage of that testosterone. And then, just like cis athletes in their fields, they're tested for their levels of testosterone and estrogen, and if one is too high, they are disqualified from competition. There's no backing to what they say at all when it comes to actually looking deep into the facts and the amount of testing and scrutiny that these athletes are under to make sure that it's a fair competition.
Now, let me ask you one more question. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And it sort of comports with my understanding of, we talked about Oscar Pistorius, right?
Right.
Who well, how exactly would you describe the Blade Runner who later killed his girlfriend? Throwing a bit of a wrench in that otherwise inspiring story. That was like the biggest bummer. I was like, what? The guy who I specifically was like my favorite athlete in the Olympics, like murdered his girlfriend. I mean, I guess he went for manslaughter, but still. Anyway, so he was cleared, right, by the entire sport, to the extent that he competed in the Olympics. And, people say to this day, Joe said, I've talked to other people who, don't have strong opinions as Joe, but still say, I think he had an advantage. It's very hard for people to believe intuitively that he didn't have an advantage. I think intuitively it makes less sense that he had an advantage because, again, he doesn't have machines in his legs. He has springs, which lose energy. They don't create it. But, whatever. I read exercise scientists that year say, people say he doesn't have an advantage, so we let him compete, right? So we can say, all right, the rules of the sport and the doctors, et cetera, can make sure that someone in this position doesn't have an advantage, and we can be careful about that, and we can trust that science, right? Is there a contrast between that and the case of castrosomania? Did you play that part of my conversation with Joe?
I don't think that was on the clip that I pulled up, sadly, no.
Okay, so do you know who castrosomania is?
Not off the top of my head.
So castrosomania is a middle distance runner. She's from, I think she might be from South Africa. I always forget. But she's incredible. I saw her live last year. She's 200-meter runner, which is a lot of power and speed. Runs very, very fast. She's a woman. She is a cis woman. But she has constantly over her life faced accusations that she's secretly a man, right? Or that she's intersex in some way. She might be intersex. I'm not sure whether or not she is, but she's been forced to, she's been subjected to sex testing, right? It's been a very hot button issue. Similar, it sounds like it has been for Fallon Fox, where for the last 10 years of racing, castrosomania's status is up for debate, right? All the time. And she's dominant. She's totally dominant. I saw her race and she was like way out in front of everybody. She is incredible. And so she and her body, I forget what it's called, it's on her Wikipedia page, does produce an elevated level of testosterone, right?
Right.
So the IAAF, the organization that adjudicates track and field, has said her body produces too much testosterone, and if she wants to compete in the future, she'll have to take hormone-suppressing drugs, which I think is very bullshit because that's the body she came in with. Why can't she compete with that body, right?
Right.
But at the same time, so the same force that you're describing as helping in the case of Fallon Fox, we have doctors who can look at the person's body and sort of like adjudicate, right? Like what their muscle mass is, whether or not they've got some sort of unearned advantage, et cetera, right? That's the exact process that in the case of castrosomania, or it's a similar process in the case of castrosomania that I think is discriminatory.
Right. And in a perfect
world, there's a bit of a tension there. And so I'm just curious what your thought is.
In a perfect world, I would 100% agree with you. But you've actually just taught me something I now really have to go and look up, right? Like this castrosomania, because what you're saying is she naturally produces too much testosterone and has to be put on transitional medicine, basically, to be able to compete. But that transitional medicine disqualifies other people from competing? That seems like a double standard being held by the opposition.
Very
honestly.
Good question. And by the way, I don't think she's been given the drug yet. I think it was a recent ruling, and she's probably appealing and etc. Right. But and she has competed without taking that drug in the past. And this is a widely reviled decision by the IAAF. I'm sure there's some people who like it, but I've not read many things in favor of it. The LA Times had a really great long piece on it a month or two ago.
Yeah, I'll definitely actually be looking more into this, and I'll adjust probably my argument as such. But I think one of the basic things that I like to stick to is to throw out the theoretical how do we fix it is why not start creating sports leagues that are more intersex, that don't require just male or just female athletes, and allow athletes to attempt to compete against each other to destroy this, because we all would hope we're moving. I think it's similar to what you said on Joe. We would all like to see the world where athletes are able to compete, because there's no honest fair table. And I think we see with cis female athletes that when given the opportunity, they will do everything they can to rise to that occasion and compete. Look at, we're about to see probably the first NFL female. She just got all of her college scholarship and played amazing there. She was on a Super Bowl commercial. They're really amping her up, and the odds are she's going to be the first female in the NFL.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think given the way that we look at competition and human nature, I believe that in the future we're going to be seeing these leagues anyway. So why not test out some leagues that aren't separated? You can still keep your male only league and your female only league, but why not try some mixed leagues and see how it goes?
Yeah, that's really cool. You know my
you cut out there at the end. You asked if I know
Are you aware of my friend Rhea Butcher?
Rhea Butcher. That name sounds really familiar.
Rhea Butcher's a comic. They're a very, very funny comic. They were on my show. And everything. They played my sister. Yeah. They are a big baseball fan, and they've given me. We were talking about these issues because they're very into women's baseball and the idea of cross-gender or cross-sex leagues. And I was just sort of asking them, like, what do you think the future is? And they were just sort of like, I think there shouldn't be any gender segregation in sports. And I was sort of blown away by that because it made me, it almost seems like a science fictional idea when it's first posed to you. Like, wait, what? Like, we would just allow, well, what would then happen, right? And it really just got me started thinking on this path of what sort of sports could we see if we were to erase some of those boundaries?
Yeah, I would say Rhea and I have.
Really cool.
Yeah, I say Rhea and I have very similar theoretical ideology there because, I think we would see a much more competitive and entertaining sports world develop out of that. That's genuinely what I believe.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also wonder if, in the Paralympics, or the Paralympics, they have all different divisions, right? They've got for amputees, right? It's they've got T1, T2, T3, and depending on what the level of impairment or difference is. Maybe that's a model where you've just got a ton of races, right? Like in MMA, why not just take a weight class approach, right? And say, well, we've got a whole bunch of divisions here, right?
All this anti-trans sports rhetoric literally came from Joe Rogan and Ronda Rousey, and it was all about Fallon Fox. And to me, that is the most striking thing about this story, because Ronda Rousey constantly challenges cis males that she's angry at, like women abusers and like the NFL guy who slapped his wife around in the elevator, Floyd Mayweather. Like, she throws down that gauntlet like she would fight anyone, right? But when it came to an actual trans athlete in her sport, she suddenly realized, oh, but this would phase my record, so I can't risk that. And suddenly it was out with transphobia, when she genuinely promotes herself as someone who could just battle and destroy men, right? Oh, yeah. Really quick, we just got rated by 3,000 people from my buddy Hasanabi. So that's Hassan Piker over at the Young Turks. So we've now got 3,000 people chilling in the audience, Adam.
Oh, wow. Wait, oh, really? Oh, my gosh, look at that. Oh. Wow, 3,800.
Hassan, thank you for the raid.
Check out my SoundCloud, everybody. I got a SoundCloud. No, I don't have a SoundCloud.
Yeah, don't check out his SoundCloud. Check out his Twitch over at Adam Conover.
Yeah,
I just want to do streaming.
At Adam Conover, I'm going to play some Sekiro later, probably.
Play some Sekiro later. I'll be tuning in now that I know your stream. Holy shit.
Please do. And I appreciate your kind words about that segment, because I was seriously just doing my level best to represent something that matters to a lot of people that doesn't affect me directly and that I only have a neighborly understanding of, right? But it really has made me think that after that conversation, I left going, especially on the issue of puberty blockers for kids and that whole issue that Joe brought up, that I really want to do a segment on it, because the first thing I did was I went home and consulted Bryn Tannehill's book. Bryn Tannehill's a researcher who we just had on my podcast, which is coming out at the end of May on Earwolf. It's going to be called Factually. It's an interview podcast where I interview experts for about an hour. We had her on to talk about, she's a veteran, and we had her on to talk about how Trump's military ban affected her, because she was kicked out of the military, essentially.
That's a really close one to my heart. I'm a trans veteran as well, and I do a lot of activism, outreach, and education on that exact fucking problem. So I'm definitely going to check out that book now that I know her name, by the way.
Yeah, you should really check it. It's a wonderful book. It's basically a FAQ. It's called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know about trans, but we're afraid to ask, or everything you wanted to ask about trans. Close
Somewhere
enough. Google
along
will
those
figure
lines,
it out.
it'll pull it up. Yeah.
Somewhere it'll, yeah. And so I just went and consulted her book, and it's, she's got fucking 500 sources in the book. I just went to that chapter and went to go find those sources. And I'm like, yeah, this is a conversation where the conversation about that issue and about trans folks in sports, as you just said, is the conversation that is being had, the debate that is being had is so totally divorced from the facts of the matter, right? People say, I can't believe you'd give hormones to kids. Well, they're not hormones that are being given to kids. Actually, they don't give the hormones until much later, etc. So it made me really want to do a segment about this on the show, because it's not something that we've done before, and there's clearly so much misinformation about it out there.
Oh God, there's so much. Like I'm super hyped that you're actually going to do like a deep dive on this on the show. Like I can't wait for this episode. I'm so excited.
We haven't been picked up for another season yet, so like
there's I would riot if you don't.
Wait until we get a budget. Wait until we get a budget.
That's fair though. That's fair to say.
I would have to say that whether or not we've been picked up, I'm going to be doing what I do until the day I die. So I'll make this topic wherever I am. I will be covering this topic in the future, and I will make sure to be reaching out to folks who know their shit, as you do, as Bryn does, as ContraPoints does, because you're the folks that I look to understand the issue.
I love that. That's like so fucking, you have no idea. Like that's so amazing. You've listed off great names. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. And I'm so like, I'm honored that I keep finding myself listed on those, by the way, because I've thought I was a nobody most of my life. So it's all like weird new revelations. But
you gotta fake being a somebody, just say, hey, I'm a somebody. It really is true. It really is true. I had to figure that out very quickly. When I started doing my show, I went from being a sketch writer at a website to being the host of a TV show. And I just had to grow to be that role, right? And say, now I am somebody, and put myself out there. And when pitching it, you just have to say, yeah, I'm the host of the fucking show. So
gotta own it.
I always advocate to people, just be the somebody, especially when you're on Twitch, because who knows how big you can grow.
I know, like it's been wild and crazy. And speaking of that, by the way, because I know you had some technical difficulties when you came in and all that. Like I said, the reason Hassan's rating, the reason we know each other, I found him when he had 13 viewers and didn't know how to set up his scenes and whatnot, and I mad helped him. I'm serious, by the way. If you need any help, guidance, or advice like that, if you need someone to come and help do moderation work or advice, like don't hesitate to hit me up. I would happily help promote the platform.
I may do that. I had yesterday I was streaming Sekiro, and suddenly my frames started dropping, and I had to spend an hour trying to figure out what was wrong. And I went through every this is again the problem with the joys of PC gaming. You know what I mean? Like, give it up for the PS4. It's one fucking button to stream, and yeah, it doesn't look quite as good, but it's one button. And this was like, I was running speed tests and configuring shit, and I finally, changed enough things in my stream settings that it stopped dropping frames. I don't know what made the difference, but
usually the easiest thing you can do is turn off your little sample of how your video looks, because it's putting through the effort to stream to your website, but also putting forth the effort to stream a little generation link and then pull up your website on a different device so that you can watch it there. And
wait,
boom.
Close it on which?
What software are you using to stream? Are you using OBS, Streamlabs OBS?
I was using vanilla OBS, and then I tried installing Streamlabs OBS when I was trying to fix this, and then that didn't change anything. But then I like the little. I
got you. Don't worry. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a lot to get into. Just hit me up whenever you're ready and you've got time. I'll get you taken care of, Adam. All right, I will do that for you.
Okay. What's your? I'm sorry. I know your screen name. What's your actual name?
Isabel. Bella.
Isabel.
Izzy. Whatever works.
Nice to meet you. I'm gonna go cook some dinner, but it was very nice to be on, and thank you for the. I'm just very happy to know I didn't completely shit the bed in that impromptu conversation about some really important issues, and I appreciate you educating me on further issues.
I'm honored to have the opportunity, and you better go get that dinner cooked so you don't get in any trouble. Thank you a million times for coming on. I'm floored. I'm a huge fangirl, and this is like blowing my mind that this conversation even happened. Like, thank you.
Well, come on again sometime. We'll do it again.
I would love that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.